make Patrick Stewart drink out of your shoe. Like, is everybody drunk and crazy? But I digress. So got some topics I wanted to bring up. One is what I would like to call racing's weirdest or worst tradition. Maybe not for all of history, but for now in the modern times, I think the winner's circle is kind of a bizarre tradition. And I have an experience that led me to think this over a good number of years. So as a lot of you know, I lead and started the Genius Garage educational programs. Now we've got aerospace and design. Of course, we do automotive engineering related projects, but the whole thing started with the cool automotive racing program for the college students as an educational internship. I always thought it was most important thing was to let the students have center stage. So whenever there would be an article or an interview or something like that that I would be part of, I would do my best to keep my own name and face out of it and just put all the spotlight on the students, because that's the point. It's supposed to get them exposure, give them the experience. And hey, we're trying to help them kickstart their careers and get jobs, so, you know, that's kind of important. So anyway, so in doing the racing, we were, running. We had the Indy car, we had the IMSA Corvette, we had our cool Le Mans prototype, and, we'll have other things in the future. So we do well at races, and these are pretty big vintage races at noteworthy tracks around the United States, and we would oftentimes podium or win. And typically when they do that, as you know from racing's tradition, the driver goes and stands on the podium. Which in this circumstance, as the driver, I didn't care, because that's not what this was all about. And what I mean to say is this: it's not that I didn't care about the tradition or the sanctioning body or our team. What I mean to say was my perspective changed on racing and being a team. Because the truth about racing, or at least professional racing, it's a team sport. If you're a hobbyist and you've got, like, say, a Miata or a Volkswagen or even a Corvette or something, you go autocross, okay, you're probably everything. You're the whole team. And if you win something, by all means, accept your, award somewhere. But in this circumstance, there was a whole team that did this. It wasn't just a stupid driver. And, I realize it's, normal or traditional for the driver to stand on the podium, but considering the fact in that circumstance that, it was an educational thing, we were promoting the students and the team aspect of that, drawing great PR to vintage racing, and the fact that vintage racing is supposed to be a gentleman's sport anyway, I said to the person the first time on the podium, and frankly, for that matter, every time about afterward, let one of the students stand on the podium instead. Like the crew chief, for instance. If the crew chief is the leader of the team, the head of the team, and the person that's even got the mic that can yell at the driver and tell them what to do, they're the head of the team. They should accept the award on the podium at a race, not the driver. And, and that's in this circumstance that I'm speaking of specifically, with vintage racing being a gentleman's sport and me being the driver as part of the team and teaching, why on earth would the driver stand on the podium? So I would ask the people there, the students to stand, and they refused every single time, which is hilarious to me, because some of these events were big, but there was no spectators, no cameras, nobody gave a crap. Yeah, sure, they took a picture for posterity or whatever, but I hated it. And it just killed me to stand on the podium when the whole team is right there and they're the ones that did it. And these, funky old fogies, I don't know what the heck they're doing, won't let the crew chief, who's leading the team, stand on the podium. And I'm just thinking, this is the most bizarre tradition ever. And I thought about it beyond that, because, name whatever series you want out there. So Formula One, IndyCar, whatever. The driver stands on the podium, they lose their mind, spray champagne, usually nice champagne is spray everywhere, that's a weird tradition too. Make Patrick Stewart drink out of your shoe. Like, is everybody drunk and crazy? But I digress. So, a professional racing series and all the driver stands on the podium, hey, it's traditional, they represent the team, they're the ones that everybody coming to watch. But it makes no sense. There's dozens of people or hundreds of people that are the team to put that car out there. There's people that have more time in their life into becoming on podium than the driver. I just think it's a bizarre tradition, and it just like proliferates weird, selfish behavior. You know, and these drivers get up there with no personality. Oh, we like to thank my sponsors and the team and stuff. Do you even know the names of your team? You know what I mean? It's just weird and pathetic. So anyway, so there I was standing on the podium, and it was kind of funny because a student snapped a couple of pictures, and I don't know, I had this weird like snarky face, like that one girl that at the Olympics who was mad because she didn't win or something, and I was kind of like, this is stupid. But so it made for a couple of funny pictures. So the best I could do with this sanctioning body that refused to let a student accept the award instead of the driver, the best I could do was just stand on the stupid podium with the other selfish drivers that probably have I don't know, maybe they have a team, maybe they don't. And then when that was done and the rest of them don't care, then I just simply bring the whole team and everybody on the podium. I'd stand beside, below, whatever. It's all about the students. Let them have that. Let the team have that. And those would be the pictures I would, you know, let get out or promote publicly, because who cares about the driver? Okay, yeah, okay, you guys probably follow some professional racing organization, you probably like some driver, but it's a weird tradition. And furthermore, if vintage racing is a gentleman's sport, like, let the kid that's the crew chief accept the award. Like, what? You look at me like I have 4 heads and I'm a terrible person because I don't want to stand on the podium and I want to let the crew chief of the team stand on the podium instead? Let them do it. Am I crazy here? I don't think so. But, you know, it was just a weird experience that I never got to share with anybody. And it just really just felt wrong and bugged me. You know what I'm saying? So I guess all I'm saying to you guys out there, you know, hey, if you're the person that builds your car or motorcycle or whatever it is that you're racing and you pay for it and you're the only person doing it and driving, hey man, hop up on, or girl, hop on that podium, you accept your award and feel great. You know, I've done that. I remember back when I built a motorcycle and won a national championship, I was the only person that did anything. Nobody helped me with it, so I stood on the podium and it was cool. But I'd just like to say, if you end up being a driver or a rider one day and you end up on podium, I would love to see you let your crew chief stand up there, or the team owner, not you. Do it. Let's change the tradition, because I just think it's weird that some driver out there gets all the attention when there's so many other people that made it happen. I just feels wrong. And if you're part of a vintage racing organization and you take yourself so seriously that when a driver wants to let a team of young people who actually built the car and are the ones who actually care and might care about vintage racing tomorrow, and you won't let them do that, maybe you should check your priorities, okay? Anyway, guys, I hope you like this, that you'll comment and subscribe. See you next time.